Hello YouTube, my name is NW Order for Life. It represents New World Order for Life, which is a reference to the famous professional wrestling group. It's my first YouTube video, so thank you kindly for watching. Um, this video is going to be the discussion about the possibility of One Piece extending 10 years into the future. There was an article on Kotaku.com talking about Oda saying Eiichiro Oda saying that he feels that after 17 years of drawing One Piece, he feels like the inspiration has not left his head. He can't stop the inspiration from coming. So he says he feels like he can draw for another decade. If that's the case, then I made making this video. Also, thanks to for Neverworld for making his video about this. He was talking about the possibility and what the fans would think about that. I want to give my thoughts about how One Piece should continue on for the next 10 years if it does. So, One Piece, it's been very goofy, it's been comical, there's been a lot of individual character development with Luffy and Zoro and Nami and the villains, and all that is great and shouldn't change. But One Piece, I feel, if it's going to last another 10 years, it needs to evolve. You can't just have the same things happening over and over again in One Piece. Go to a new island, get a new crew member or not, fight a villain, rinse and repeat. It shouldn't be that way. Oda should definitely change up the script a little bit. Not at first, for the next 2 or 3 years, keep things the way they are, uh, get another straw hat or two on the group and, you know, build more to the over, build more into the main story. But I don't want to see Luffy being the same Monkey D. Luffy that he's been since this manga started. Like, yeah, you can. Not saying I want to erase his personality or anything, but I think Luffy should get a little more hardened. Uh, you know, get a little bit more out of the comfort zone that we know him to be in. Like, for example, we know he always eats tons of food and for energy, and he's always goofy and he's always comical. You can keep that goofy comicalness to Luffy, but change him up a bit. Give him a little bit more of a dangerous personality. Make him a little battle hardened. As the series goes on, because if we're talking 10 more years of One Piece, we're talking time. We're talking seeing these characters, in real time get older and become this legitimate organization to go against the world government. And time like that, things need to happen. Um, you know, Relationships need to happen. Um, Personality changes need to happen. And unexpected twists and turns need to happen. Like, for example, law joining. Like, I'm not saying this should be a thing at all. It's just what popped in my head. But law joining the Straw Hats crew, if that would have happened, you know, after a couple of years of being in the group, maybe one of the females catches his eye, and or and vice versa, or maybe going out of the romance category, maybe Chopper suddenly stops being so cute. Maybe Chopper decides, to actually be like the rest of the crew and not be like like a joke until the fighting starts. I know people are gonna say Chopper has that cuteness, is his personality, and that's part of what's so alluring about his character. But the truth of the matter is, Chopper, he's the doctor, and he's a capable fighter, when he really tries. But he's, different from the rest of the crew. I mean, even Usopp, who has no abilities and who is a coward, when Usopp fights, he fights dirty. He fights tough. You know, and Chopper contributes too, and Usopp contributes. But just Chopper is just not like the other crew members. He's just like this comedy relief, like little cute pet that can become strong and can become scary when he fights. But I just feel like, just imagine if Chopper were to become like, more mature. There has to be a sense of maturity, like among the group. There has to be a growing up effect. The group has to grow up. And I'm not saying again, that's got to be all relationships or radical personality changes. It's just that we need something different to happen if this series is going to continue for longer. I mean, look at Naruto. Naruto, the series has been stale. Which is one of the reasons why I liked Obito's character so much, because Obito is, just so dark and like he was complex and dark and just was a refreshing change. His whole Toby persona, basically Toby persona, and and his whole flip the hero thing into the villain thing, like he was the dark Naruto. That was all refreshing. That was all a change from what we've seen in Naruto, in my opinion anyway. You'll probably disagree. I'm sure many people don't like Obito. But, just saying that Naruto hasn't changed, really the part 2, there wasn't really much growth there at all, not much maturity at all. And this is one of the reasons why Naruto has fallen so far from the graces that it was at. And if One Piece stays the same, if One Piece does the same tired formula of going to a new place, meeting a villain and fighting the villain off and then, advancing onto the next thing, it's going to be, it's going to be good, but it's going to feel the same. And there just has to be some changing things. And with One Piece, maybe I didn't explain this too well, but One Piece's main draw, I think, for many fans, is just the fact that the characters are all so unique and they're all so, detailed, and, character progression is like a huge part of, I think, why we watch One Piece. So the character progression, it has to constantly change. Not constantly. It has to change, gradually. It has to come to a point where you feel like Sanji, is the same character, but like you can tell he's matured. You can tell he's grown up, and that he's much more serious about being a commander of Luffy's army than he was at the start of when Luffy gave him commanding responsibilities of one of his platoons or groups or whatever you would call it. That's what I'm just saying. Like, I'm not saying that that's happened. Obviously, that hasn't happened. But if Luffy, let's just say Luffy took Jin Chao, I think that's the guy's name, Don Jin Chao, that Luffy took his army and and said, okay, like, you're all part of the Straw Hats. Like, you could see Luffy delegating some of those forces to his prominent members like Zoro and Sanji and whatnot. And so, like, it would be just great to be able to see Sanji, take that the first time he's offered it, and then later on we see how different he is compared to when he first did it. That's all I'm saying. The point of the matter is that, characters should change in realistic ways, and not change to the point where we don't like them, because it's got to be still the same character that we all know and love, but just some gradual differences about them that overall make them better characters, and keep the story fresh, keep it interesting. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about One Piece going on for another 10 years. I really enjoy the series. Not the biggest One Piece fan, but I read it all the time. I watch the anime all the time, and I really like where it's going. I have my own personal, thoughts and wishes for what I would want the show to be, where to go. But that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is just giving you my opinion on what I think One Piece needs to do in order to not get stale, and in order to keep reinventing itself and entertaining us for another 10 years. So this was my first video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, just let me know in the comments. I don't need you to thumbs me up or anything. If you'd like to, that's great, but just let me know. And if anybody has any ideas for a show they want me to review, episode, a weekly basis or whatever, let me know that in the comments. This is my first time on YouTube. Like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but I plan on doing more videos if people like it. So please let me know. Thank you very much. Have a great day.